feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
Okay, so let me give y'all a breakdown of what's going on in the YSL trial. You know, I've kind of ignored what's going on in the trial because there's so many things going on. Man, the legal mumbo jumbo is like going crazy. Imagine there's about like how much, I can't remember how many guys, but I feel like it's almost like 10 defendants, right? So anytime something happens, the judge has to hear from 10 different attorneys. And everybody's raising motions. Everybody's raising, like, objections. Like, it's really a slow trial. Now, it did speed up recently, right? So let's get to the speed up. Now, there was two people were expecting, well, three people that everybody was expecting to testify. Of course, Gunna, but Gunna was told he don't got to testify. The second person was Trontavious Steve. Is that his name? Is it Tick? The guy that looks old. You know, that guy that looks old, and he was just like Thug stands for truly humbled under God. Like, he was just saying all type of dumb shit. Like, he was, everybody was giving him credit, like, yo, he's spinning the attorneys, but really he was just saying shit. But the biggest one, which we all know was pretty much already admitted as a cooperant, was YSL Woody. Okay. People have seen this guy in old videos where he essentially was in a interrogation. Let me see, interrogation. Okay, and in the interrogation, he basically was snitching. Right? He basically said, "Yo, Young Thug did all that shit." Right?
Tell you every single person, every Instagram page that's out and out trying to get him. I can give you every person, every name.
I could give you every person, every name. Everybody knew he was telling. However, in the charging of YSL, we didn't really hear about his charges being that, public. So we assumed that he's one of the cooperants, and eventually he was going to turn on Young Thug. By the way, if you listen to this interrogation, which we played like probably months ago, he literally said, like, yo, he was wondering why Young Thug, who's a successful musician, wants to be a gangster so much. Or not wants to be a gangster, but like, it's so evil. Like, he kept basically saying, I can't understand why Thug always wanted it to go left. You know what I mean? Basically saying Thug was just a violent person. So he was basically painting a picture that the prosecutor's going with, that, yo, Thug is like a violent person who's a leader who's enabling these guys to go kill, hurt, or harm other people. And this was I don't know how this got leaked. This was like such a huge blunder on the behalf of, I think, the court system in general, because I think a Freedom of Information Act request went in, and they allowed this to get out, but they should have sealed this, or at least temporarily denied the Freedom of Information Act request, even though they can't technically do that. But they could say if it's involved in a current investigation, which the dude's about to take. Like, why are you going to put a video of him snitching right when he's waiting to snitch? Like, it's different if the case is done. So this shit got leaked before he ever took the stand. Then he took the stand. And what happened is, I'm going to try to walk you through it as quickly as possible. He took the stand and he invoked his Fifth Amendment right. Okay. Now, I know we're all like ghetto lawyers at this point. YSL Woody, Fifth, please, the Fifth. Oh my God, I can't type today. Okay, here we go. We're gonna play the whole thing. Please, the Fifth. Okay, where is it? Give me a second. I think I gotta go to Long Crimes. Sorry. So, essentially what happened is that this guy, he doesn't really want to testify, because this is the thing about, and I'm confused about, like, the streets these days. I think now more than ever, we get to realize that snitching doesn't exist, and it's so subjective that there is no general barometer. And even if you're like, no, there is a general barometer. No, it's really not. Stop lying. Because the ramifications for snitching all depends on who's doing it and in what situation. Like, for example, these guys know what they're doing. They're all trying to save themselves. This guy basically already told on Thug. The prosecutor highlights him as a lead witness or a main witness in their trial against Thug. but he's still trying to remain cool with the gang. So he's trying to like, oh, nah, I really ain't gonna tell. Like, you know what I mean? No, this is your time to shine. You've been telling this whole time. It's like 6ix9ine. Imagine when 6ix9ine get locked up, he signs the agreement that he's gonna tell whatever. He has a proffer session, which you'll never see because that's private. He tells on everybody already. And then when he has to go to court to tell, he's like, nah, I'm done telling. What the fuck are you talking about? So that's YSL Woody, right? So essentially, he gets brought into court right before the weekend. And let me see if we can find it. And he gets to court and he starts acting like he's never acted before. He basically says, nah, I'm not about to tell on Young Thug, right? Let me see if I could pull this up. Let's go to live stream. Sorry, chat. Are they not covering this no more? Maybe they're not. YSL trial. Sorry. Okay. I'm trying to do this sequentially. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to do this sequentially that you could understand the story in case you haven't been following it, which I don't expect you guys to follow this shit, truth be told. It's just too much bullshit going on, right? So on Friday, this is what happened. Here we go. This is 5 days ago. Where is this guy? Okay. Here we go. So this is him basically not trying to testify.
Your Honor, lays out that it is the...
Okay, so I'm going to skip through it. It's like these court proceedings are very long. I kind of watch them like while I'm doing work during the day. But I watch them to also try to speed through to make sure you're not bored. Here we go.
States.
Okay, so this is the prosecutor here. She's giving the judge a rundown of what has compelled or how they've compelled the defendant or this person, YSL Woody, to testify. They basically say, yo, he has an attorney. His attorney says he's not going to say nothing on the stand. He's going to plead the fifth like everybody says they're going to do. And by the way, it's important to note if Gunna took the stand, this is exactly how it would go. So Gunna allegedly was going to take the fifth if he ever took the stand. But what they were probably going to say to Gunna, hey, we're giving you immunity. So what happens is you could take pleading the fifth means that you don't want to say something that could potentially incriminate yourself, right? Now, they got around him being able to do that and not answer question by saying, hey, you have immunity, which means anything you say here can never be used to prosecute you in this district. So once that happens, it basically says this guy has to testify. The guy doesn't want to testify because he's still trying to keep it gang with YSL, right? Like, you know, we're in the era of half snitching. You tell in the interrogation room, you write a statement, you sign the fucking thing when they give you the paperwork of the plea deal or whatever immunity deal you might get. And then you get on the stand and nobody wants to look like 6ix9ine just ratting like a motherfucker. They change their minds, right? So this is a state or this is a DA or assistant DA. She works for Fonnie Willis. She's basically telling the court what the deal is, right? Then what's going to happen is this is the lawyer for Woody who basically goes up there and says, hey, Judge, my client don't want to testify.
That could occur depending upon his decision.
I have, Judge.
Okay. All right. I guess the only thing to do at this point in time is to bring him in and determine whether or not he would like to make sure he understands.
I understand.
Where he is under 24-5-507.
He is present in the courtroom, Judge.
Okay.
What he has told me is that he repeatedly told the DA's office that he did not wish to cooperate, did not wish to testify, and wished to exercise his Fifth Amendment privilege. But I can bring him up and have him state that on the record.
Yes.
Okay. Come on up, Mr. Copeland.
Okay.
Mr. Copeland, come on up and have a seat here, sir.
So Woody walks up.
No, he doesn't need to be sworn in yet. No.
So essentially, they talk to they literally talk to his counsel, which is his lawyer. They say, yo, did you explain to him that he has immunity, which means anything he says in this hearing will never be used to prosecute him. And by the way, the reason why he would plead the fifth is because he doesn't want you're scared of getting prosecuted by your own words, which, you know, obviously that's unethical and illegal. Well, not illegal. If you plead the fifth, it gets you out of it. But here's the thing. This guy don't want to snitch on Thug, even though he snitched on Thug already. This is like half snitching, bro.
All right, Mr. Copeland, your counsel, Mr. Melnick, have you had an opportunity to talk with him about testifying today?
Yes.
All right. Has the state provided you a letter of immunity or a copy of the order that I have signed directing that they give you use immunity?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of it?
Yes.
All right. Can we see that, please? Can I? Yes. I need 2 copies of it.
Okay, you're gonna keep
the
talking.
court pursuant to this particular.
There we go.
In this case, it appears that you've been properly subpoenaed to appear as a witness in this case, and that your testimony is necessary in the public interest. So that's how we, as a due process, get you to come to court. I mean, you were noticed as a witness. They've identified.
Now, by the way, so this is Judge Glenn Urville or something. I forgot his full name. Bro, he's so frustrated with this whole process. Like, yo, he's really frustrated. So he's explaining to this nigga, like, yo, check this out, bro. Like, I know your attorney explained this to you, but bro, we summoned you here. I've signed off on something that you can't get prosecuted later on for it. The DA agreed. You got to talk, okay? And they're trying to get this guy to basically continue his snitching, but he's tired of snitching. He's done snitching.
When your counsel have talked about.
Yeah, so they're talking to him, and now the judge is going to ask him, are you down to testify?
Case for you to testify. So your attorneys told me you're going to invoke your Fifth Amendment privilege. Done, said. However, the immunity has been signed. I have a copy of that right now. So you're required to testify. So if you don't testify, the state's probably going to ask me to jail you. And I'm probably going to do that. So I'd like you to go ahead out and talk with your lawyer and tell me what you want to do at that point in time, okay?
Do you need any more time to talk, Mr. Copeland? Okay. What is your desire
Look at this nigga's face.
at this time?
I'm taking the fifth.
Okay.
Again, he can't take the fifth. So basically, you know, this is just a formality. And I have to imagine his lawyer told him, yo, bro, you're going to jail. So you're going to get locked up. It could last the duration of the trial. But, you know, this is sometimes how people think they're slick by saying, yo, listen, I'll stay in jail while this trial goes on because I'm so important. Y'all need me to convict him. And, you know, I'll do it 6 months afterwards and then I'll come back out, but I didn't tell.
Okay, you've taken the fifth, but you've got immunity, but you still want to, are you going to testify? That's the thing.
That's the question.
That's the question on the floor. I've acknowledged the fact you have a.
Okay, so he says he's going to testify, but the first question they ask him, he basically starts playing dumb. Okay?
Questions, okay? And then you.
So he says he's taking the fifth, but he'll testify. The state gets up really quickly, and this is his lawyer still up. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see everything. That's his lawyer there. Okay, here we go.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to everyone.
All right. By the way, this is Brian Steele. He's going to come more into this whole conversation and play later. He's really the lead attorney for everybody on this as defendants, right? He makes the most motions. They kind of look towards him to kind of lead the tempo and the feel of how the defendants are going against the state. He gets the most time. He's the biggest and best lawyer, and obviously he's Young Thug's lawyer. So he's kind of almost like the lead attorney for everybody, even though he only represents Young Thug. So he's making some type
Your
of
Honor,
case. He's basically saying, yo, it's kind of unethical that y'all trying to force this guy to testify. He admitted he lied a bunch of times, and the judge basically said, shut the fuck up. We're still going to take his testimony. Okay, so they run off Young Thug's lawyer. Now we got the state up here. Here we go.
Discussed with Mr. Steele last night. I turned over the statement that I believe was Brady.
Okay, all right, here we go. Now we're gonna see the question part where they try to ask the nigga some questions. Here we go. And chat, as I said, I'm trying to like fast track this as much as I can.
So federal indictment.
Here we go.
Probation is revoked.
Okay.
Essentially,
And another nigga lawyer came up, and here we go. Oh no, I think they asked him the question.
Five.
Defense side. 7-5.
I think they asked the question. Never mind.
Now, they've asked for immunity. I've signed the order. I tell you what, why don't you step outside and talk to Mr. Melman? We'll go ahead and... Does our witness need to be excused? All right. All right, sir. Then what we'll do at this point in time is we'll call for our jurors and we'll swear you in. And
If you don't mind, Frank, to do is this.
Brady, which give us any different information.
I'm trying to show you the part, but basically they ask him how old he is, and he refuses to even say his age, right? Like he just, hold on, okay, he refuses to say his age.
You're gonna be in recess for the weekend.
Here we go.
Are you?
Okay, so this is a question in that he refused to even answer. Like he basically just don't want to snitch on Thug.
So we can all hear you. So if you could state and spell your first and last name for the
Ask
record,
him to
please.
spell his name.
Kenneth Copeland.
Spell it, please.
KENNETHCOPELAND.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right.
And Mr. Copeland, good afternoon. Do you want to be here?
Ma'am,
Do you want to be here?
I'm here.
Okay. Are you going to let me ask you some questions?
Okay.
How old are you?
Grown.
Okay, what does grown mean?
How old are you? Grown.
I'm an adult.
He said, "How old are you?" I'm an adult. Okay.
Okay. And when you say you're an adult,
Now, by the way, his lawyer this is all part of a plan. This is not just him acting dumb, people. And for my attorneys who watch me, tell me if I'm kind of on the money. This is a way that someone who's testifying becomes almost a hostile witness, right? So basically, they're not cooperating with the proceedings, which leads to a few other steps being taken. But he's answering these simple questions like this before he even gets to any shit because he knows what he's doing already.
what number in years are you?
I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I get you to step outside to your headquarters of jury deliberation, please?
All right, sir.
Okay, so they bring the jurors back out.
Under 24-5-507, this court holds you in willful contempt, and we'll see you on Monday. And we'll see if we can get some more testimony at that point in time. Take him into custody.
So they arrest YSL Woody. He don't want to talk. The nigga say, "I'm grown. How old are you?" I plead the fifth. Like, okay, cool. So what happened today is like really interesting. Really, really interesting. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. And again, shout out to all my attorneys here. There's so many attorneys who do watch me that are chat niggas, but obviously, I'm not trying to get them to hop on here and like share their expertise because I don't want nothing with hip hop to mess up their reputation or whatever the case is. But let me give you the tantamount equivalent to what happened today. It's what happened when in the Tory case, right? In the Tory case when that guy who allegedly heard the fighting and then went by his window and supposedly saw shots, he changed his story on Tory. So essentially, like if you guys don't remember, one of Tory's own witnesses, I think his name was Sean Kelly, switched up his story and went from being a defense witness to a prosecutor witness. That's one of the main reasons Tory went to jail. Now, what was not rumored, actually this is true, the prosecutor talked with the witness before, and everybody could assume they probably threatened him and say, "Bruh, if you come in here lying, nigga, we're going to put you in jail. You really like Tory that much? We're going to go crazy on you if you fucking lie up there." The guy went up there and told a whole different story. Told the story the prosecutor wanted him to tell. Here's what happened over the weekend. Remember YSL Woody just got jailed, right? YSL Woody gets brought in, right? Him and his lawyer gets brought, or a rep. It wasn't a male lawyer. It's another lawyer. It's a female lawyer. Gets brought into the judge's chambers And the prosecutors and the judge, which in the chambers is not on the record. So it's like, I don't know, the chambers is like the judge's office, right? They basically have a conversation with Woody to say, Woody, I don't know what they done told you. If you're going to plead the fifth and you're going to get out on Monday or you're going to get out next week, listen, you have other cases, other charges, this and third. If you don't take this stand and answer truthfully, you're not getting out of jail for a very, very long time. Anyway, so you know what happened? Over the weekend of him being locked up for being held in contempt, today he shows up and he's down to take the stand. Let's actually go to that. So he shows up today. He's down to take the stand.
With Mr. Copeland here, so go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Obviously, he's wearing jail outfit because he spent the weekend in jail. Let me skip through a couple things.
3 brothers' names.
All rules, sir.
Trey Nato, boss.
Say that one more time. You said it's fast.
You can tell he don't want to be there. He's so upset.
Nato, Trey's boss.
Nato, Trez.
I think I did.
How long did you go to? Did you finish middle school?
Overruled.
Okay, so they're just asking routine questions. You know, they gotta get a little background before get him in full snitch mode, right?
Your Honor, the state's going to tender State's Exhibit 382Y
Okay.
or Shannon Jackson. Shannon Stillwell or Shannon Jackson.
They're asking about YSL members now.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you known Shannon?
We went to school together.
Do you remember which school?
So they're painting the picture. You knew all these guys. You went to school with them. They're ready for him to start the snitching, right?
Okay. When you say you think, you can have a seat. When you say you think you see him, what do you think he's wearing?
This is all they wanted. Let me tell y'all gangsters, man. We tired of you niggas half snitching. If you understand and you go like this, anytime you point, it's over. Just complete your job and do what you got to do. That's all we trying to say. You can't half snitch. Ain't no half snitching in this. Hey, what's that fat nigga, Robert Allen, testify? Remember, he snitched on the other niggas because they only gave him $5K? He did the same point. He did the same point with the, here we go.
Are you currently?
He did the same point. Look.
You're saying
Wait, where's that point at?
Any provocation by Mr. Allen towards Mr. Newsom regarding before myself?
Wait, I gotta get that point.
What did you? How?
Oh, I can't find that. Oh my god! But you know what I'm talking about. It's that infamous point where that nigga is pointing at the niggas who did the crime, even though he did the crime too. It's the infamous snitch point. My thing is, bruh, just own up to it. Like, these niggas think that they're gonna like do this process and just no. There's mad telling going on, and here's my problem. And we're gonna get to the Bum B shit too. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with telling. I highly recommend it. I actually advocate for it. But you can't be a gangster snitch. You can't be like, you can't be double dutching. Bro, if you gonna snitch, just snitch. Okay, so now he's pointing niggas out. Nah, this is a mean face right here. That's crazy.
Look like he wearing gray over there.
He look like he wearing gray over there. Yeah, nigga. Tell on him. The fuck?
So who are you pointing to over there that's wearing gray?
I think the lady got red hair.
Okay, so you pointing to a lady and not Shannon?
No, the one behind her.
Okay, so you believe that the person behind The lady with the red hair is Shannon. Is that what you're saying today?
Well, it looked like him.
Okay. Does anybody else over there look like Shannon?
Yeah.
Okay, who's up?
Oh, he lied now. Nigga, you went to high school with a nigga, but you think there's multiple people in the courtroom that look like him?
Other person who looks like Shannon over there.
He's standing behind the bald head dude right there.
He's standing or he's sitting?
Sitting down, I guess.
Okay. What's his hairstyle?
That's a lawyer, nigga.
Bald head.
So you're saying Shannon's the one with the bald head? Or he's sitting
No,
behind
he's sitting
him?
behind the dude with the bald head. I think that's him.
Okay.
It's two people with dreads. I can't see I just see dreads.
Okay.
This ain't no
Let me
bad.
just ask you this. Is Shannon from Atlanta?
I don't know.
When you first met him, where did you meet him at? Was it in school?
Ooh.
Bruh, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. If y'all niggas sign up to snitch, nigga, and you're not doing like a... Yo, this is one thing I don't respect about people who be on this gangster shit. Yo, no matter what y'all want to say about 6ix9ine, he knew the assignment, my nigga. 6ix9ine signed the paperwork that he's snitching, and that nigga came in court. Like, that nigga was pointing niggas out accurately. That nigga was like, yo, he got the polka dot shirt on. I guarantee he got on. I guarantee he got some Hanes boxers on right now. Yeah, he got them same dirty sneakers he stole out my... Like, 6ix9ine was snitching accurately. Like, if you gonna tell, like, nigga, you gotta at least get a gold star in the fridge for this shit. These niggas is like half snitching. I don't like it. I don't like this shit at all.
Did that relationship develop over time? Where he became more than just a dude on the street?
I guess.
Okay. And when you say, I guess, what do you mean?
What you mean? What do I mean? We became cool.
Okay.
Yo, y'all gotta start shaming some of these niggas, man. Yo, these prosecutors going too soft on him. You gotta remind this nigga, hey, you fucking rat. Calm it down and get this fucking job done if you want to leave his courtroom not in cuffs. Like, yo, how you gonna be sassy about snitching? Nigga, you signed up to snitch. Nobody ain't forced you. You signed up. This is voluntary.
I guess.
All right. Now,
Sassy as hell.
when y'all were cool and you would see him in the streets, how often would you all hang out with each other?
What you mean?
What you mean what I mean, nigga?
How often would the two of you spend time with each other?
You gotta be Pacific.
Man.
Sure. Would the two of you go out?
I go out with anybody, even you.
I'm not asking
Nigga trying to kick game.
about me. I'm asking about Shannon. Would the two of you go out?
We have went out.
Okay. How often have the two of you gone out?
Yo, by the way, I know a lot of y'all are watching this and I'm like, yo, he's dodging these questions. You do realize there's 12 individuals on that jury. That, number one, their time is being wasted from their families and their actual jobs. That they're probably not going to take people being dumb and playing on their intelligence and be like, oh no, these guys are innocent. Nigga, you look guilty. Like, just think about the jury for a second. They got you here for a fucking year, and this degenerate is here acting like he can't answer simple questions. You think that the jury's like, oh, maybe he don't know what's going on. What?
I don't know.
Is it more than, let me see. You said you met him in middle school. You're 32. So
Yo, this is why I understand. This is why I understand why the hell they played Kelsey Nicole's own interrogation tape in court. Because when you playing dumb too much, this is what you know what they should have played? YSL Woody interrogate. This is all they should did is shut that nigga up. All right, nigga. Fuck all that. Nigga, what about this? Fuck all that. All right, fuck
including the potential victim and instigator of the crime.
Yeah, nigga, let's play your own words, because you're acting dumb. But you was acting smart in here. Anyway.
roughly over the course of 20 years.
No.
No, you have not gone out with him?
I met him after me and him went to school, we never hung. I met him in 20 what?
Okay, anyway. Not to make this as a long thing, because we're trying to get to a lot of other pertinent things. So this is what happens afterwards. essentially what happens is they call a recess afterwards, and Young Thug's attorney, I keep telling you he's like the lead attorney for the defense, he raises a motion, and his motion is for a mistrial, and he believes that there's been severe misconduct that has gone on, because even though this guy is trying to not testify, he is testifying. And on Friday, he refused to even say his name. Now, what you're gonna hear Young Thug's attorney try to make a point to the judge, saying, "Hey, judge, I've gotten some information that the reason why this guy is testifying is because he was coerced. He was threatened and intimidated by not only the prosecutor, but also you." And the judge is going to say, "Nigga, how the fuck you know that?" And that's when shit hits the fan. Here we go, Chad.
Okay, Mr. Steele, would you take the podium, please, sir?
Okay. I got to go before this, actually, because I got to go to him making his point. Here we go. So this is a point right here.
Is Mr. Copeland out?
No, he's offense.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is where Young Thug's attorney says, "Yo, I think y'all did some funny shit and threatened that young man to testify, and that is too crazy." And the judge gets defensive.
Go ahead.
The way I understand my constitutional obligations, pursuant to the 6th and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, the corresponding sections of the Georgia Constitution, I'm required to make a full and complete statement to the court. For the record, and if God forbid this goes up on appeal for the appellate courts or another tribunal, commission, or administrative body, I was told, based upon information and belief, that when we arrived at 8:30, 9 o'clock today, we did not come into your courtroom until almost 11:30. And
so they're saying that the witness, Woody, showed up to the court early, and he didn't come into the courtroom till 3 hours later. Why? They're saying that there was a conversation that was had before with the judge on some sidebar conversation, except it's not on the record. And it's actually called this thing called ex parte, but we'll get into that. But he's bringing up that, yo, y'all convinced this nigga by forcing him and threatening him to testify, and that's not right.
what I found out just recently, this is not waived, is that supposedly in chambers, this honorable court reporter at times, honorable court at times, district attorney or district attorneys from the DA's office, as well as investigators, sheriff deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of the defense team, to my knowledge, was aware that this was going on. It was told, based upon information belief, that it was told to the district attorneys that Mr. Copeland intended to plead the Fifth Amendment. Then I was told, based upon information belief, that Adrian Love, the lawyer for Mr. Copeland, and this court were together, and Ms. Love made representations that John Melnick supposedly spoke with some attorneys for the accused and wrote an email to Ms. Love, to Adrian Love, stating that Mr. Melnick does not represent the witness, and that Mr. Melnick wrote an email saying F you, and then somehow that email was CC'd to me. That never...
Mr. Steele, can I interrupt you for just a second? I'm kind of disturbed because that's ex parte. All that was an ex parte conversation. How did you find out about any of that?
Well, I'm disturbed too. And the reason
Ooh, okay. Now, let me give you the context of why they're disagreeing, and you could pick who you believe is right. Legally, I guess we probably both don't know who's right. So the premise of this argument that's about to happen, Young Thug's lawyer, okay, the guy with the silver hair or gray hair, he says, y'all had a conversation in your chambers that was disturbing to the process of pursuing justice, Okay? It feels like people were being harassed or coerced to have to be compelled to testify. That's not how the legal process goes, especially in private. Okay? If someone says on the record they're pleading the fifth and they were down to get held in contempt, you can't then remind them off the record, yo, you know, you better do it today because we're going to lock you up again, and this time it's going to be for months. That's what Young Thug's lawyer is saying. The judge is saying, wait. How do you know about any conversation that even resembles that? So it appears that the judge is saying that conversation might have happened. He's just saying, how did you know? You weren't invited. You weren't in the room. And he's saying, because, you know, now it's more of a court procedural thing. The judge big dogs Young Thug's lawyer by saying it's a bigger and a more egregious offense to have spied or have eavesdropped or find out private conversations I had in my chambers than if I was doing something wrong. And that's the judge's point. So the judge is like, you got to tell me how you found out, because if you don't tell me, that's a problem. But Young Thug's lawyer is like, fuck how I found out. If this is true, that's a problem. So he wants to talk about how they found out, the judge, and then he wants to talk about what they found out. And that's where they get crossed. Here's the conversation, and I got to warn you, it's about like 10 minutes. Check it out.
I'm asking you a question. How did you find out about it?
I'm going to answer you the question.
Okay.
Scuttle, if you look at SCU.
By the way, let me give you a better analogy. It's like your girl saying to you, yo, you cheated on me with this bitch at this time. And now, here's the thing. You know she ain't go through your phone. You know she ain't got no track on your car. You know the only way she could have found out that you fucked that bitch is because that bitch called her and told her. You not even, so you change the subject. Yo, how you even know? You just want to know how the hell she found out while she wants to talk about, nigga, you cheated, nigga. So it's the most hilarious conversation in court context.
DDER versus State, which is 298 Georgia, 438, it's Division 2, 782 Southeast 2D 638, 2016. Our highest court says when a court meets, because Mr. Copeland comes in, meets with the court supposedly made statements, which I assume is somewhat accurate based upon what you just said. We're entitled, Mr. Williams and every other person wrongly charged here is entitled under the Georgia Constitution to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me and you and Mr. Adams meet with me and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of the record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said.
And you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not going to answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate, and I'm not trying to get anybody else.
I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I got problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems, okay, at this point in time. All I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that how somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversations with a party. I mean,
a witness who was sworn in Friday. The court's telling. This is what I was told. If this is not true, not true. This court handed Mr. Copeland.
Tell me how you got the information.
Listen, whatever you want to do.
Tell me how you got the information, then we can go ahead and go forward.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is this. I was told, and I hope this concerns the court.
It concerns me that you have proprietary information.
Why is it proprietary?
Or information that you should not be having that was ex parte.
Why?
With a party.
Why?
State of Georgia.
How about the witness? How about Mr. Copeland, who supposedly announced he's not testifying and he'll sit for 2 years, and then supposedly this honorable court, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. This court supposedly said, I can hold you until the end of this trial, Ms. Hilton supposedly said actually all of the defendants and then all 26 people are disposed of. If that's true, what this is coercion, witness intimidation, ex parte communications that we have a constitutional right to be present for. So I understand that you're upset towards me, but I don't know what I did.
Mr. Steele, I still want to know, how did you come upon this information? Who told you?
What I want to know is why wasn't I there? Why,
sir? I'm going to hold you in contempt if you don't tell me who tell me who this information was
from. I don't
come
want to be
from.
held in contempt.
Well,
I'm not answering that question. That's attorney-client privilege information. I am not
attorney-client privilege. Unless you were in my chambers, that's the only way you can figure out.
I
tell you what, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. If you don't tell me if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to put.
By the way, these two have been like at each other the entire trial. I'm wondering what's the ramifications. Like, Brian Steele operates in his court a lot. These two have been fighting, yelling at each other, calling each other unprofessional this whole time. Like, it's no way, like, they've disrespected each other professionally. And if you know anything about the legal process, a lot of these defense attorneys are mad buddy-buddy with the judge, because they kind of need a judge. These two, and by the way, this, you know what this has told me? Brian Steele, remember when he said he's going to fight for Young Thug, even if it's with the last a drop of blood in his body? It tells me, I don't know how much Young Thug paying him, but he's down to get locked up. He's down to burn relationships. He's going crazy for Thug.
I'm going to put you in contempt because that is not attorney-client privilege.
Attorney work product privilege. I am not.
How did you get that information supposedly from my chambers? Did somebody tell you?
I'm not. You should have told me.
You got 5 minutes.
Well, I don't need it. I want to continue.
You got 5 minutes.
This is what I was told. Mr. Copeland made statements that he admitted to killing Donovan Thomas and was. Don't take my notes. No.
I don't think Mr. Adams is back. I have a. He is. He's right behind you.
Sorry. I have a motion that I need to make outside the presence of Mr. Copeland.
All right, you can make it right now. Is he out?
Okay.
Deputies, Mr. Copeland and his counsel met together. None of it does not represent the will to be present. That's a critical stage.
It's just like when you meet with me, and you and Mr. Adams meet with me, and others have met with me. It's those are ex parte for a lot of different other reasons, but I will certainly note that for purposes of record.
Well, I'm going forward. What I was.
Okay. Now it gets more spicier, and I'm skipping past some parts because I don't want to bore us to death. So essentially what happens, right? The judge says, I'm going to give you a little while that you can rethink this. Remember, I'm the boss in this courtroom. I need to know how you found out this shit that you're accusing, and you're quoting specific things that you would only know if you were in that room. How did you find that? Basically, the judge is asking the lawyer to snitch on who told him that, right? And Brian Steele is saying, I ain't gonna tell you. Fuck all that. And the judge is saying, I'm gonna hold you in contempt, which means I'm gonna probably get you taken into custody or getting struck on the record. And this is the ultimate, this is the ending of all this right here.
In order, you need to please tell me who you got it from. I'm not asking you sum and substance of anything as of yet, okay? But I need you to tell me how you got the information. If you don't tell me how you got the information, I'm going to hold you in contempt.
I understand. I don't want to be held in contempt.
And I don't want to hold you in contempt, but this is so sacrosanct to have a conversation in my chambers parroted to you and others. It is that serious.
Yeah. And that's why I raise it. It is that serious that we should have been there and it shouldn't have happened.
Sir, that's a whole separate issue. And that's why ex parte conversations are recorded.
Why would it be ex parte? You're acting like it's ex parte under seal.
It's ex parte because that's what the state asked me to do. It's just like when you asked me for an ex parte conversation.
I've never asked this honorable court or any court to meet with me and a witness.
Sir, you're straying off the issue.
I'm not.
The issue is, how did you, who? How did you get this information?
I understand the issue. I promise you, I understand it. But what I'm trying to ask you is, if you look at comment 5, this is how I understand the law.
You cannot you can't violate something and then use privilege. Okay?
I'm not violating anything.
Okay, but that's why I'm saying, how did you get information?
But just listen to what I'm trying to tell you. You're saying, you're threatening me with contempt.
Privilege would occur. The privilege in 1.6 would occur if you were in the right place, right time to begin with. You weren't.
Let me tell you. I'm just reading from it. But if I'm reading it wrong, I'm not trying to. It says 1.6 applies not merely.
All right, so he's saying it's client privilege. The judge is going to say your client would have never known about this or known it as a fact. And also, if your client even did know about it, that means your client is communicating with maybe either court officials that would be improper, or communicating with the witness attorney or the witness himself, which is also improper. Anyway. They start kind of getting nasty with each other.
You're assuming something because I told you to 5 o'clock or thereafter. But when I'm trying to do that,
he's gonna say, "I'm gonna put you in custody."
Yes, you can, because I have an idea how you got it.
Well, your idea.
I have an idea how you got it, but that's improper, sir.
Your idea may be wrong, and you're asking me to listen. I told you the first time.
By the way, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never seen this much back talking to a judge. Yo, they talking like homies, like. Man, any judge I've ever seen, they tell everybody to shut the fuck up.
And I'm not
sure. I don't want to hold you in contempt, but this is that serious, Judge. You cannot eavesdrop and get information that was not meant for you to hear at that particular point in time.
Judge, listen. I'll do whatever you want to 5 o'clock or thereafter. But what I'm trying to tell you is, Your Honor. This is so serious to me. We need a hearing, and I'm moving for a mistrial. It is my understanding, based upon information belief,
from whom?
Part of it.
From whom?
Well, I'd like to get the substance first, and then we can.
Okay, well, then you'll be in custody until then, because you need to tell me how you got the information. I'm not asking you what was said. You've already kind of given us some snippets of what you said. That tells me that somebody parroted that information to you. So,
but you're assuming something because I told you already.
Well, then, other than if you were sitting, unless you were sitting in there with a recorder, or Miss Love or Miss Hilton, or one of the deputies gave you that information, or Miss Weaver shot you a rough copy of the transcript, there's only one other person that's left.
Well, Your Honor.
And if that person gave you that information, or shared that information with you, she probably violated privilege.
Well, let me tell you two things. One, I don't know how that is a privileged communication. It shouldn't have been.
Well, it's because she has a client she's supposed to represent.
Who are you talking about?
But anyways, I'm not going to have I'm not going to have any further conversation with you about this. I want to know, the question still remains. I want to know who gave you the information?
I'd like to know what information happened outside our presence. That's really it.
He can go into custody at this point in time.
I think that the court needs to again declare a mistrial based upon.
Okay, and I'm going to deny your motion. I'm going to deny your motion.
I understand that you spoke with a witness outside of our presence.
And whenever, yes, I had an ex parte conversation, which is appropriate.
And you influenced the witness based upon information belief, and I'd like.
So he's saying he influenced Woody to testify.
I'd like to have that all on the record.
All right.
I mean, I don't know why that's so hard to do. If nothing happened bad, that's fine. But you're acting like, tell me who it is and don't talk about the substance. Why can't we have an issue that was outside of presence? It should not have been.
Because you got some information that you shouldn't have gotten.
Why?
Well, that's for another day.
But why?
Okay,
why
that's for another day.
In the first place, I didn't know about this stuff.
That's for another day. So
I raised it as soon as we found out about it.
Well,
I gave you the case I'm relying on. I assume you read it. If you didn't read it, you should read it. It's a material part, a critical part of the case. When a judge speaks with a witness outside the presence of the accused, the court has said it's right there in Division 2.
Okay.
That is a material or critical part of the case, and it's an automatic reversal.
Mr. Steele.
But you're acting like it's
Mr. Steele. That is not when.
Okay.
I'm respectfully requesting the transcript that you mentioned to be given. The issue, isn't it?
On record.
And let me get to the part where he actually gets arrested. Okay. Here, this is how it goes. So this is the other Young Thug attorney who basically, the judge is going to say, hey, we're taking this nigga into custody. And the other attorney says, well, we can't deal with this case without our lead guy. And the judge is going to say, I don't give a fuck.
Ms. D. Williams? All right, thank you, madam. Motion's denied. Mr. Gardner?
So again, that's what I'm saying. Everybody follows behind Young Thug's attorney. When Young Thug's attorney goes for a motion for mistrial, every other attorney, like random attorneys, say, hey, we got something to say. What? Motion for mistrial? Yeah, what he said. Y'all shouldn't have met with the fucking witness. So the judge is denying everybody, right?
Okay, so noted. All right. Okay, Mr. Steele, last time. Who told you? All right, Mr. Steele's in custody. And once he clears the area, we'll go ahead and get started.
So he basically tells the bailiff's arrested.
Yeah,
Now this is another one of Young Thug's attorney who's then saying, hey, it's impossible for us to go forward without this guy.
We're going to continue. I'm not caught nothing.
I'm not going to participate in the trial without the Steel.
So he's saying, I'm not going to participate in the trial without the lead attorney, that's for Thug, and the judge is going to say, I don't give a fuck.
You don't have that luxury at this point in time, sir. You don't. You don't have that luxury. You don't have that luxury at this point in time. You don't.
Without the court addressing the issue that we believe is germane.
Sir, you all are really getting yourselves cross purposes at this point in time.
I don't believe so.
Sir, I'm telling you, you are at this point in time. You made some things out of nothing. I think that you're on very precarious ground at this point in time. So I'm telling you at this point in time, he's in custody. We're going to go ahead and start. You can represent Mr. Williams. That's okay. That's fine. I'll take up the other stuff as needed, but I'm not going to take it up right now.
Respectfully, I will not.
Say again?
Respectfully, I will not. I cannot.
Sir, you have to. Well, you're gonna have to do the best you can at this point in time, because you don't get to extort the court. That's what you're attempting to do at this point in time, sir. Yes, you are. What you're trying to do is, I'm not going forward if I don't get this. It doesn't work that way, Mr. Adams. And I'm telling you at this point in time, I would just kind of govern yourself accordingly, sir. I'm telling you, as the court, under these particular circumstances, everything will come out as it should. I don't think, sir, I don't have enough information at this point in time to address it. I don't. But I'm telling you at this point in time, there is nothing that was given, said, whatever, this morning that.
If there is any action.
Now, I'm going to be honest, this is such a big deal that let's say Young Thug gets found guilty. This is probably going to be one of the main things that is used to form a grounds for appeal, right? This witness, which, by the way, it's been bullshit witnesses all towards this point. This guy, YSL Woody, is supposed to be one of the main guys who could corroborate certain events that revolve around the main crime, around the death of Donovan Nutt Thomas and other violent incident that supposedly YSL is in. So this guy, Woody, not testifying is a huge thing. And if it's the belief of the defendants that he only testified because the judge kind of forced him, this is huge.
Some of the information that we
But sir, I don't even know. Your co-counsel won't even tell me who said whatever. Okay. And the challenge I'm having in this particular circumstance is that is such a violation of the sacrosanctness of the court's chambers and an ex parte conversation. You're just glossing over that. You're glossing over that in its entirety. No.
Mr. Williams' rights.
It's not, sir.
What we believe
Sir.
occurred is not
is not.
That's not what happened. 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 I'm just telling you, that's not what happened.
Judge, respectfully, we are not obligated to simply accept that there's been no violation. We believe that there has been, and the only.
Okay, well then you made your. No, we're not doing that at this point in time. So you'll have a choice to make. All right, take Mr. Steele into custody, please.
Your Honor, would the court afford me one moment to confer with counsel regarding the appropriate remedy in this type of.
Okay, all right.
So he gets locked up.
May I say one thing, Your Honor?
Yes, sir, you certainly may.
Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So for that reason, additionally, I ask for a mistrial. And I assume you deny, but I'd like you to deny our motions for mistrial. You denied the other people.
I've denied your motion, but I'll certainly take that under advisement, sir.
Okay, so he gets locked up. He should be free now, if you guys are wondering. He was only held in contempt and was supposed to be jailed until 5 o'clock, which was going to be the end of the court day, which obviously right now is 7 o'clock Eastern time, which means he should be free. Okay. Again, these are lawyer games. They're not trying to really lock him up like a criminal, but it's like, the judge is really, he might be ego tripping, but he's trying to put his foot down, and Brian Steele's also trying to put his foot down, trying to make sure Young Thug doesn't get found guilty. Because even though, there's a lot of grounds for appeal, but you rather your client beats the case, right? These are some other lawyers that's reacting to Brian Steele getting taken into custody. Someone says, whoa, Brian Steele is now confronting Judge Glanville about an ex parte conversation between the judge, the DA, and a witness. Steele says this violates the Georgia Constitution. Glanville wants to know, blah, blah. Andrew Feischman says, obviously the source was the lawyer for the witness. We all know that. So it's the lawyer for YSL Woody. And obviously it's wildly improper to try to swear that lawyer to secrecy. Then someone else says, apparently these are all lawyers, says, I mean, I know literally nothing about this case, but how could a judge have an ex parte with the DA? And this other person says, the judge seems to concede that it was an ex parte conversation with the DA to persuade the witness to testify. And it strikes me that they didn't want Brian Steele there because he would have correctly objected to it. Then someone says, I mean, how does that not instantly end whatever case this is? And then someone says, if this case ends, it's only going to be because another court steps in, I suspect. They're basically saying this shit is just like some wild shit going on. You get what I'm saying? Then Bradford Cohen, we had him on here not too long ago. He says this case and this judge is off the reservation. This is an instant mistrial. I can't believe the judge thinks taking a defense attorney into custody isn't a mistrial. Brian Steele is a real one. Defense attorneys across the country should be terrified by the lack of judicial knowledge. Okay, so it looks like they're kind of getting Brian Steele's back on this, right? The case is still going on currently. I actually do have one more thing in regards to this where I could post. Give me 1 second. And it's essentially the other lawyer for Young Thug, the black one. He's also backing Brian Steele by basically saying, yo, judge, you're out of line. So this is right now lawyers versus the judge. The DAs are just chilling out, but these are the defense attorneys versus the judge. and I believe this will get posted in a second. By the way, some Tory Lanez news just popped up. We're gonna be talking about that in a second. Let me see. This is just taking me 1 second here. By the way, thank you guys for all tuning in. Damn, I didn't even think that we would actually have over 10,000 people, actually damn near 11,000 on the King Akademiks page, and I haven't streamed in a week. So hey, I'm always extremely humbled by all the support we get for all the streaming. Just the amount of people who even show up here. So I take this job like with the utmost seriousness and respect. And now that I'm back, I hope I give you all the entertainment. Okay, we're gonna get some more fun topics. I'm just kind of getting through some of I'm just getting through some of the hard topics where you guys want to just hear the information. We're gonna get to some fun topics soon too. So just bear with me. Okay, so this is the last thing I'll play. So this is the other lawyer, and he's talking to the judge. He basically says he's sticking with Brian Steele.
Contempt if the court continues in that position. That leaves Mr. Williams represented, at least at this juncture, by myself. That puts me in a position of making sure the court is aware that I'm in receipt of the same information that Mr. Steele received. I'm of the same opinion that the court has engaged in behavior that I believe compromises and corrupts the continuation of this trial. I do believe that we are entitled to and should receive a copy of the transcript so that a full investigation can be made as to what we believe has occurred here. And so I take the same position as Mr. Steele. I am asking for a mistrial, as he did previously, and I'm telling the
By the way, these are all formalities. The judge is going to say no, right?
court that
Like the judge, like he said no to 3,000 attempts at a mistrial.
I do not believe that we can proceed at this point based upon the information that we've received.
All right.
And frankly, I don't believe the state has any say in that. My statements are in regards to my representation of Mr. Williams. And if Mr. Steele is going to be held in contempt, I have exactly the same position. I also do not.
Well, I asked him, so I didn't ask you.
Yeah.
So essentially, this black dude was saying, you could lock me up too, because I feel the same way like he felt. Y'all fucked up. Y'all did some crazy shit in this case. Y'all should have never talked to this witness in some private little setting to try to get him to testify. That's fucked up. And he's like, yo, if you're going to hold my other co-counsel, which is Brian Steele, in contempt and lock him up, you could lock me up too. It's like, this is like my song, like picketing saying, yo, just lock me up. And the cops are like, nigga, ain't nobody give a fuck about you. So the judge literally says, nigga, I asked him. That's why I held him in contempt. I asked you. Shut up, nigga.
So, but I'll leave it at that. Okay?
Okay. All right. Enough of this. So, just very interesting. What a lot of people do believe, and if you want my analysis, but also for what many attorneys and very seasoned people in the judicial system has said about this trial, is that this trial is either going to end in a mistrial, or no matter what happens, or unless Young Thug is found not guilty, it's automatically going to be appealed, and they believe the appeal will be granted. There's just too many things and too many little nuances that should have been addressed to make sure that Young Thug and his other co-defendants are having a fair trial that have been ignored, or things that have been like just missed. So it's either going to end in a mistrial, or like obviously the one option would be he's found not guilty, which I don't think the prosecutors would try to do this again. They'll be like, fuck it, go ahead, right? A mistrial, I think they would still try to do it again. Well, actually, if you get found not guilty, you can't do it again, right? But I think that's whatever. But it's looking like the judge and the DA are kind of making it kind of seem like he's gonna get found guilty. They're not gonna do a mistrial. Mistrial, they would probably do it again. So they would probably just hold Young Thug in jail, or they'll start going back to the court saying, "Hey, listen, because you let him out on bail," which they've seemingly refused to do. But it would be like the YNW Melly thing, right? Even though that wasn't a mistrial, that was actually a hung jury that actually got called a mistrial, right? I think that was correct. Regardless, this case ain't going nowhere, bro. Like, it's not going nowhere. But I will caution anyone who thinks Young Thug's about to be free. He's just not. Like, he's just not gonna be free, bro. Like, if you ask me from how this looks, I would be shocked if Young Thug is even out in 2025. This case is going to go for the extent of this year, probably into spring, maybe summer, maybe even winter of 2025. There's going to be other development, other drama. Maybe at some point it's a mistrial, which they got to start it again, which that's going to be another 2 to 3 years. Or let's say they get I don't think it's going to result in an innocent verdict. Let's say he gets found guilty, then he's going to go to appeal court. Honestly, I don't think we see Young Thug still for another 2 years. 2 to 3 years. And that's if shit goes well for him, right? Let's say it goes to a mistrial. Now, this is the way how to get out of this, right? Fonnie Willis is getting killed. Like, her prosecution of Trump is basically halted. Her misconduct hearings about her fucking, the special prosecutor got her under fire. If you don't know, a district attorney is a elected position. So the people have to elect you, which means eventually you are working in the best interest of the people. Now, after you've gotten a lot of bad press for trying to convict or trying to prosecute a former president, now we found out that you're fucking a special attorney or a special prosecutor, that you overpaid, that nobody's ever got paid that money for being a special prosecutor. If you're trying to, because if you don't know, Fonnie Willis took this case as, hey, I'm going to show you why I'm good for this. You know how sometimes black women will show that they're strong by going at black men because, if a white woman does it, you'll call them racist. That's Fonnie Willis' thing. It's a Kamala Harris strategy, right? Like, yo, I'm going to go at these gangbangers. Because if it was a white woman, like, people would just say this is racist, right? But you have a black woman going against these black guys who supposedly are ruining their own communities, even though they're popping bottles and wearing chains. People allow that. Atlanta is a very predominantly black, district in terms of demographic. However, after this Trump shit, this just isn't going to be a priority for Fonnie Willis anymore. It's not going to gain her no brownie points by putting Young Thug in prison, right? So out for this is a mistrial, and subsequently in the next couple of months, the prosecution or the DA office realized they got so much other shit going on, Trump about to actually run for presidency, they're going to just say, fuck it, we're just not prosecuting these YSL dudes, or we're going to just chalk it up as a win on our book by giving everybody time served. Because these guys been locked up for a while, right? So that's really the best outcome. I think if you're a Young Thug fan and you're like, I hope he's innocent, you're going to be very disappointed. Like, he's going to get found guilty or mistrial. That's it. Like just think logically. Like, you know what I mean? Like, also, these people on the jury, like, they're also frustrated. Every 20 minutes, they get told to leave the court. Hey, could you leave the court? We have like 15 motions to get to. Hey, could you leave the court? We got to talk to the witness. Hey, could you leave it? Like, they're fucking frustrated. They're not making no money. Half of these. So there's a lot of frustration going on. So what I think is going to happen is that it's going to be a mistrial. And then based on what's going on with Fonnie Willis, this office is going to choose not to go through this whole process again. But they're going to try to get the W by saying, oh, Young Thug took he took a 15-year probation with time served, but he's free now. You get what I'm saying? And it'll be a PR win, but it's just a waste of money. But at least they don't look completely stupid by getting beat in court or by just, looking like complete frauds by saying, hey, we're not going to prosecute again if it's a mistrial. You get what I'm saying? So I think that's what's going to happen. But I still don't think we see Young Thug for 2 to 3 years. I would be very shocked if Young Thug gets out this year and next year, at least in the early part of next year. So for the next year, I don't think we see him. Does he get found guilty? I don't know. I think if this isn't a mistrial, which, by the way, this judge, here's another thing, too. The ego of man is so strong, I could tell this judge realizes that his career and his credibility is on the line as well. And that's why let's say if he was engaging in unethical behavior, like trying to coerce a witness, yeah, because he probably wants a conviction. Because it would make all the fuck shit he did or some of the business he was standing on looked like, oh, okay, I get why the judge had to be stern. But if Young Thug is innocent, right? Or if they can't convict Young Thug, the judge looks crazy. The judge has locked up mad lawyers, has jailed mad people, has done a lot of and issued a lot of sanctions, and that some people feel like has, really corrupted the whole court process. So I think his ego wants this to be a conviction for Thug. So we'll see, though. So I don't think he's going to rule a mistrial. And that's why I agree with Bradford Cohen when he says the only way this is going to get resolved is if another court steps in. Because until this court proceeding is done, the only person who could call the mistrial is going to be Judge Glanville. And he's literally squabbling with these lawyers. He's not trying to call no mistrial, period. Right? Okay, all right. Enough of that. Yo, did y'all just see this? This just came up.